Real Talk starts now.
And right now. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp.
I'm Lee Barris.
And there's something wrong there with our Fox News stuff. So we're just going without them this morning.
No news is good news.
I'm going to bring my T-shirt down here. You can see I'm going to start wearing it again. I ever tell you the story about that T-shirt?
No.
I did
Which
some
T-shirt
work.
are we talking about?
I've got one that says "No news is bad news,"
Oh, okay.
and I got this from a company called National Geographic.
Okay,
Oh.
yeah.
I gave them when I was at WECT, I gave them some footage. I don't remember what it was, but anyway, they sent me an appreciation. They sent me a dozen T-shirts, all identical.
Okay.
I kept them all.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter and my wife thought I was wearing the same T-shirt
Every day.
Every
Every day. Oh,
day.
that's epic.
Okay.
until they finally found out I had 12 of them, and they threw away all but one.
Okay.
I can't imagine that, throwing away 11
Wow.
good T-shirts. They got tired of wearing, seeing them, I guess. But anyway, whatever. Okay, today's next to the last day of July. If you got anything to do this month, you got now until tomorrow to get her done.
Well, you'll be happy to know I renewed my license plate and got the new little sticker already, and the month's not even out yet.
Well, that's good.
Yay.
We got one of our frequent listeners went over to that place there on Country Club Road
Yes.
to get his sticker, and they're lined up forever.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, no. That's why I did mine online.
Well, I did mine over there, but I was
Is it?
only in line like maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Oh,
That was
no,
it.
he left way before that was up. And
Oh,
they, I guess he was going to Maysville last time I talked with him.
mm-hmm.
He was trying to get a phone call up there to see if they were open and how the lines were there.
Mhm.
And apparently, lots of places don't have telephone numbers listed.
Well, I have
Well,
an
that's
art-
because nobody will call them.
I was reading an article last night on social media, and somebody was asking where it was at, and somebody was giving directions, and somebody else said, well, don't go there. But a lot of people jumped on and said it only took them a few minutes to walk in, get it, and walk out.
It just depends upon the time you get there. And the other thing he was talking about, he was complaining about, if you're using your credit card or debit card, they don't make any distinction online when you do that. And like you have to pay $8 for your total fee. And your taxes are figured into that.
Let me tell you what, it cost me $11.74
Uh-huh.
to pay for it online. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Versus
They
I think
charge you the credit card fee back.
last year it was a courtesy fee of like
$3.
about
It's
$3.
$3. It was.
When
Hasn't
that
it?
1174 popped up, and I was like, who's getting this money?
Well, it's going apparently
What's
to
going
the
on?
credit card companies because they charge 3.5%.
Right.
Now, I'm going to do some checking, and he's going to do some checking about that because I've been following somebody, and one of the individuals that I do business with, he said he went to one of those schools, and they cannot charge 3.5% if you're using the debit part of
I
your
used the
card.
debit card, yes.
And if you're using the debit part and you're not signing it as a credit card, some places it doesn't matter. You swipe it, it's going to come out as a credit.
Well,
But that is not on the banks.
right.
That is on whoever the provider to that business is. So you got credit card companies that they sign on, and they are the ones that get the 3.5%.
I know there's a credit card fee generally with a lot of vendors and businesses that you do business with. They'll charge you a credit card fee. When I went on there, it didn't give me an option, debit or credit. It just
Right.
says credit.
Yeah.
So
that's how they're making some money. Somebody's making the
I
money.
got charged $11.74.
The state's not making the money.
But it's still
it was whoever the vendor is that's providing the credit card machine or
right.
whatever they provide,
Yes.
the services
But
to the
what's
company.
3% of 400? I don't know. I have to check that out.
$12.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's what it was. They charged me a fee to use a credit card, but I didn't use a credit card. I used a debit card.
No, you didn't. Did you punch it in as a debit
It
card?
doesn't give you.
That's
option.
right. It comes out as a credit card.
That's right.
So, anyway,
But look,
we're going on a rampage.
my new sticker's on, and I'm legal, and it's
Mhm.
before the end of the month, so I did good.
Yeah, no
I'm
problem.
happy.
On this day back in 1965, for those of you who are now old enough or became old enough or at whatever time, Lyndon Johnson, as the president of the United States of America, he signed the Medicare bill insurance program for elderly individuals into law on this day, 30th of July. Who was the first person? Here's a point of trivia for y'all.
Oh, God.
Not y'all out there in Radio Land, because I'm sure you're not going to call for
Kelly's
this
the
one.
history buff, not me.
Who was the first person to get the first Medicare card?
Oh my Lord, Redford, I have no idea.
Somebody old? No clue.
What was the year?
1965.
1960.
I'm going to go with Lyndon Johnson.
Nope.
Oh, then I don't know.
Harry Truman, former
Okay.
president.
I knew there was. I figured it was some presidential somebody. But okay.
Truman was enrolled because in 1945 as president, he became the first president to propose national health insurance. At the time, Congress said, so 20 years later, it went into effect, and Johnson made sure that Harry Truman was the one recognized for doing that.
Okay.
That's very interesting. I didn't know there
In
was
case
so
you're
much
ever
history.
on Jeopardy,
Mhm.
Dun,
And you need to know.
dun. No, you won't ever see me on Jeopardy. I might be there to hold up the cue cards for somebody.
I love
but
Jeopardy.
I don't think they do cue cards anymore, do they?
it's like hold up the answers to Kelly.
That could be it.
I'll be Googling and holding up the answers.
No,
That'll be about
we'll
it.
just put an earbud in her ear that can't be seen, put her hair over it, and then we'll sit off screen. And we'll have a
Yeah.
bunch of us around there.
We see her win, so that's us yelling, Kelly!
Yo, God, stop it. I can hear her now.
I would either know it or I wouldn't. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I know she used to play trivia over there at the A.
yeah.
And I went in there a couple times to meet them for afterwards, and I'm like, y'all can have it.
Look, my team won a regional championship before. Won a $1,000 or $2,000.
Mhm.
Yeah, we had a good team. We need to get our game back together and do it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not me.
Like I said, I'll sit at the other table and just
on.
hold up cue cards because I know you can't have your phones with you.
Yeah, well, we can fix that. Well, Mr. Cooper ain't going to be the vice president.
Has decided against it.
Roy Cooper, our current governor, lame duck governor, he's on his way out. I guess he saw the handwriting on the wall. News yesterday that I saw yesterday morning indicated he was not running too well in Kamala Harris lineup of possible running mates. He was way down into the single digit, like in 5% possibility that she would pick him. It was thought for a while that Cooper was under serious consideration for the position, but more and more it looked like he was not making the final. So in a statement yesterday, he said it just wasn't the right time for North Carolina or for him. I'm not sure what either means. He's 67 years old. This is about the only time. Well, of course, there's Trump and there was Biden. He could still run for president, I guess, in 4 years or 8 years. See what happens. What else going on locally? Pick up anything?
I know, but I got an answer to some information reference to using your card at the license plate agency.
Uh-huh.
All license plate agency calls are routed to the state helpline. The state charges a 1.22% card processing fee for use of any cards regardless. All of us there are working as hard as possible to ensure everyone gets waited on in a timely manner.
Mhm.
Most people who complain are those who do not come prepared to either provide necessary information or proper identification
Mhm.
of themselves, which I can see that point exactly.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
But then again, you get people sometimes that go in there and they don't know what they need.
They have no
You
way
know,
of knowing. And something,
Yeah.
there should be a list of instructions perhaps on the outside or maybe sent to you with your vehicle registration or anything, or if you're buying a car from a dealer. Of course, the dealers generally handle all of that paperwork, don't they, from the first time out?
That's why I let the dealer do it. You
Yeah.
know, I'm like, no, y'all do it.
Well, maybe the dealer would do that every year if we went back to that same dealer and say, hey, can you take care of this renewal too while you're at it?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see that happening.
And I will say the individuals, the employees there, I'm sure they take a lot of guff and they're working hard. And is it their fault there's not enough help in there, or is their fault that everybody came at one time? It's just always been aggravating to go there.
It would be really cool if they would set up kind of like they did at one point in time, as I recall, certain days that your license plate ends in this or whatever, and you're coming in for a renewal. There's this line. You're coming in to transfer all of this and that. Because here's the problem here in Oslo County. We get a lot of folks in here who are from out of state. They are coming in here to get new license plates or change their license plates over. And it's a process. Then you get people in here. Let's just say you bought a boat and a trailer down in South Carolina. South Carolina does not register trailers.
Why?
No, they don't do it.
So you don't need a registration to take a trailer on the road?
In South Carolina, but the problem is you buy a boat and a motor and a trailer from a South Carolina dealer or a person in South Carolina with a motor and trailer that you bought, and he's got no paperwork on the trailer. It was never registered.
Well, that might be a problem.
That might be a problem down the road.
It always is when you bring it in North Carolina, because you've got to have it registered in North Carolina, and that takes time.
Oh no, South Carolina sounded more and more like the place to go.
No doubt.
Yeah. So, South Carolina does one other thing though. You have to register your motor in South Carolina too, along with your boat. You got to, whatever motor you put on your boat has to be registered in the state of South Carolina. That's okay in the beginning when you first get the boat and motor, right?
Right.
After that, what happens when you trade motors and your boat's still good? A lot of people do that, like me. Then you got to go re-register your new motors.
Oh, so you have to. It's a package too.
Yeah, motor has got to match that boat.
That's their way of making sure they get that tax money.
Well, it's a good reason to do it here, is because it's a deterrent to thievery.
True.
People around here in North Carolina will steal a boat, motor, and trailer.
We've seen that.
Here's what occurs: they take the boat, motor, and trailer to some wooded area somewhere, and they whack the motor off the back. Take the time to do it. They take that Sawzall thing and they cut around the transom, take the motor right off the boat, and leave the abandoned boat and the trailer right there.
That happened last year, remember?
It happens a lot.
It was a nice boat with motors and trailer and everything, and first thing you said was they'll find the boat and trailer.
Yep.
The motors will be gone.
Because you cannot sell the motor, you cannot sell the boat because it's registered.
Right.
You cannot sell the trailer because it's registered.
Right.
So I think the great state of North Carolina would do well by boaters to require motors to be, their serial numbers to be recorded and registered.
Well, I can definitely understand that. Yeah, it's something worth looking at.
Yeah. That way, if somebody buys a motor from some thief at a good price and then has to register the motor, he can't do it. So, he's not going to start buying those motors. That's the way that works. So that's always a good thing. Okay, Yolanda's in trouble.
I know it.
The wife of our lieutenant governor and gubernatorial candidate, the Republican nominee, Mark Robinson's wife, Yolanda Hill Robinson, she and her firm have been ordered to pay back $132,000 in federal funding following a finding of serious deficiencies against the organization earlier in the week. She's operated Balanced Nutrition since 2015, helping child care centers apply for and receive federal funding for kids' meals. Balanced Nutrition improperly billed the federal program, according to a letter last Friday, including excessive administrative costs and inadequate documentation for some food purchases. The nonprofit also bought items not allowed for the child care program. Those guys, every now and then, they will do an audit.
Oh, yes.
They also caught one of the employees that they had on staff was their daughter.
Yup, and then when she went to file taxes, it asked you on that tax form, do you have any family members working? And she replied, no. That's what got her.
So you've got that problem.
Yes.
So Anyway, I got a little bit of stuff there. Notice of serious deficiency. There's going to have to be something done. I hope, and they folded. The company's folded anyway.
Right, yeah, she closed as April 30th.
Yeah. So, but they're still responsible for whatever occurred
Of
prior to
course,
April
yeah.
30th. So, good
Yeah.
luck when you're dealing with the feds. You're going, you got issues.
Well, you should know too, your husband's in politics.
You're
And
going
he's
to
running
be
for a higher office.
scrutinized.
You're going to be scrutinized for
Um,
everything.
And who's running against him? What's the title of the gentleman who's running against him now?
Attorney General.
Yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
So there is probably the only thing he has done in the last 4 years.
He's just like his predecessor, our current governor, pretty much a do-nothing, AG.
Well, I noticed a new commercial out this morning against the Mark Robinson, and this one was dealing with back in the day when they owned and operated a daycare center. And there were some inspections that they failed then, so now they're bringing all that out.
Really?
And something about there was times when they didn't have any electricity, heat, lights. There was times where they had safety hazards exposed to the children. So whether it's true or not, I don't know, because
Yeah.
this is a political war. So
Doesn't have to be true. It's just that
That's
you got
right.
to create enough distraction to see
Yeah.
what
they're
occurs.
coming after him.
And
And
of course they are.
Where's his party people at? Why aren't they getting the scoop on Stein?
Well,
I mean, I remember a couple of years ago when all the rape test kits were backed up for years.
yeah, but that even goes back before his time.
True, but he had time. He campaigned on
Yes,
I'm
he
going to
did.
clean all that up, and I think they just recently got that done, didn't they, Kelly?
It's just how
Yeah.
Wasn't that long ago?
there were a whole lot of rapists who got freed.
Yep.
Charges dismissed because they had no evidence.
Mhm.
You have to have, if the state's lab is so backed up that it can't return evidence to you, that interferes with your right to a speedy trial.
Correct.
And lawyers, knowing that, were okay. We're ready for trial, Your Honor. We want to do it tomorrow, and they have a legal right to do that.
Yeah, and then eventually it gets dismissed.
Yes, it will be dismissed. It happens.
It's ridiculous.
Well, we live in a ridiculous society, and
Do you
everybody's out for something for
think-
themselves.
And that's right now, all these people going at war over political sides.
Huh.
If you and I don't agree, I respect that, but there's no sense to argue and fight over it.
Well, look for dirty little tricks to play, and that's what occurs.
I will say my sister, my older sister, not by much, but sorry, sis, she grew up in New York.
Mhm.
Of course, I grew up here. 15 years ago, she moved here, and we get to do the sister bonding and stuff. She was born in an area, and it was all Democratic. She grew up Democratic. She's registered Democratic. We have opposing views on a lot of things, especially when it comes to the presidential race. But you know what? We don't argue about it. She'll just say something, I'll say something, and we'll say, okay, let's go out and get lunch. We don't argue
Do
over
you sit
it.
at the same table at lunch?
Sure,
Oh, I'm
I
just checking.
respect her opinions.
Mhm.
She respects mine, and we leave it at that. She's the only Democrat in the family, but we still love her.
The
We
black sheep
still
of the
love
black
her.
sheep of the family, right?
She's a good person, and that's her values that she grew up with. I mean, she voted for Hillary. She knew Hillary,
ooh.
But who's to say she's right or wrong? Who's to say I'm right or wrong?
Me.
You're biased.
Severe weather can occur anytime, anywhere. Severe weather can impact events you don't always consider being weather related, like forest fires, for instance. If an area has been without rainfall and the winds are blustery, a small grass fire that could normally be extinguished within minutes can spread literally like wildfire. California is once again dealing with a major wildfire. High winds, sometimes self-generating high winds due to the extreme heat from the fire, present serious problems for firefighters. They use special equipment, including helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft, to drop water along with fire-retardant chemicals in an effort to knock down the flames so ground personnel can work to contain the fires. For people living in the area, not just California, let's talk about what can we do as part of today's severe weather tips. First, prevention is key. When conditions are dry, y'all, as we were experiencing earlier this summer in North Carolina, do not leave a charcoal grill or any type of open fire pits unattended, not even for a minute. It only takes a gust of wind to send those hot coals into dry underbrush, and within just a few minutes, perhaps even undetected, there's a sudden wildfire. Perhaps it's still small, but with ultra dry conditions combined with gusty winds, it will spread rapidly. The severe weather tip is brought to you today by John Stars Electric, your standby Generac generator dealer. If a fire starts, timing is important. Notify the nearest fire department as soon as possible. Once they're on the way, if you feel comfortable in spraying water, even from a garden hose, onto areas in front of the moving fire, it might just slow it down long enough for the fire department to get there and take care of it. The professionals will take over as soon as they arrive. At that time, take a look at your house and decide what you need to do just in case there's an evacuation order given. As it is with hurricanes and tornadoes, even severe thunderstorms, it's always best to have a couple of plans in place. The first issue is to be able to get yourself and your family to a safe location. Take everything with you, including insurance papers, any other important papers, if you have to leave. Not knowing how long you'll be gone, take some supplies that you have on hand. Don't forget medicines, any special foods for the elderly and young people. They require different things from time to time. And of course, don't forget the needs of your pets. The difference between wildfires and hurricane events is the amount of advance notice we get. A wildfire can blow up in short order. You may have to gather whatever you want to take with you in just a matter of minutes. You need to be prepared. Being prepared for times when our source of electricity is interrupted is also important. A car crash, overheated transformers that are overworked with the extra loads on the grids these days, a contractor accidentally hitting either overhead or even buried power lines can plunge an area into complete darkness. This would be a good time to set up a time for a member of this John Stars Electric team. Stop by and work up a quote on what it would take to install a standby Generac generator at your home or even at your place of business. Electricity is no longer a luxury. It used to be. 100 years ago, even at homes with electricity, you were more than likely going to find kerosene lamps throughout the house, just in case the power went out. There are 3 of them in my house right now. Robbie's got 3 of them sitting up there just in case. Today, from toothbrushes to emergency oxygen machines, our lives depend on a supply of electricity. Call the Stars team today. You'll be ever so happy with the peace of mind you'll enjoy knowing that your source of electricity will be up and operating whenever the lights go out. 910-989-1908. Your marine forecasts when we come back.
Hello County, this is your Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Is your phone plan messing with your savings plan? Don't get stuck paying for things you don't want. With Verizon, you only pay for what you need. And for a limited time, when you bring your own phones to a Verizon store, you'll get an amazing price on your plan. Plus, you'll save on things you actually love, like the Netflix and Max with Ads bundle. And it's on our award-winning 5G network. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today for an incredible deal. A better plan to save is Verizon. Additional terms and conditions apply.
Discover, this is Daniela.
Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to thank you for making me feel so special. I earned cash back on debit for my dinner party groceries.
That's great. But with Discover Cashback Debit, we give everyone cash back on everyday purchases. Anything else I can help you with?
Do you like asparagus and mushroom sorbet? I've got leftovers.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a checking account with cash back. It pays to Discover. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
A plan every adult family member should consider is the pre-arranged funeral. It's the worry-saving thing to do for your family. Making pre-arrangements helps to alleviate the additional stress on family members that can come with arranging a loved one's funeral. Jones Funeral Home's prepaid funeral plan helps remove confusion. They make a practical evaluation of costs possible, and it's the best way to take an unpleasant task off the shoulders of the family. Call Jones Funeral Home at 455-12 8281.
With locations in Jacksonville, Richland, Swansboro, and Holly Ridge.
When it comes to paint and paint supplies, whether a contractor or homeowner, since 1957, people have depended on Jacksonville's premier paint store, CNS Paint, for all their paint, painting supplies, and accessories, as well as providing expert knowledge in helping with a particular paint project. CNS Paint, with locations in Jacksonville at 6 Doris Avenue, 504 Cedar Point Boulevard, Cedar Point, and 105 Williams Drive, Morehead City. CNS Paint is close and convenient to cover the Crystal Coast with quality PPG paint for any project, residential or commercial. Color is often the first impression of a home or community. PPG's team of designers, experienced in both new home construction and residential repaint, have compiled over 2,000 color schemes to provide you with a selection that appeals to homeowners. A beautiful and lasting paint job starts with quality PPG paint. For more information, phone 910-455-0210 or visit CNS Paint, 6 Stars Avenue, Jacksonville, 504 Cedar Point Boulevard, Cedar Point, or 105 Williams Drive in Morehead City, or online, cspaintcenter.com. CNS Paint, Jacksonville's premier paint store since 1957.
This just in, I think there's been a prison break, and reports are saying it's the Scorcher. Yes, the Scorcher has escaped and is running rampant across Comfortville. Apparently, he's targeting innocent air conditioning units. Yes, and wait a second. It seems that reports are flooding in of unfortunate citizens feeling uncomfortable, hot, and in extreme cases, I hesitate to say this on the air, people are even sweating. Wait a minute, we're now getting word there seems to be some sort of disturbance. Oh, Bryant Man is on the scene, and he has apprehended the Scorcher. All right. Tune in again for another tale of Bryant Man, always doing whatever it takes.
Call Down East Heating and Air Conditioning at 346-4311 and let them keep you comfortable this summer. Down East Heating and Air, serving our community for over 25 years. Down East can also help you with your home guttering needs. Call Down East today, 346-4311.
It's live and local. Real talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
All right, the Marine Forecast, sponsored by Community Prevention Services. Efforts are being made, but the war we have on drugs isn't making much of a dent into the drug trafficking violations that we hear about. Fentanyl remains at the top of the deadliest drugs flooding into the United States. Why? It's cheap to produce. Mexican drug cartels handle the business of actually packaging the killer drugs and sending the synthetic opioids across our porous border. Kelly and others like Kelly attend conferences on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's going on.
Yes.
Just trying to look for the latest information, and the results are astounding. Meth, cocaine, fentanyl, even tons of marijuana still flow freely, reaching Americans and killing us. Substance abuse is at an all-time high. It has an effect on more than just your physical and mental well-being. Families are destroyed. Individuals lose their jobs, blow their money, all for the sake of the misnamed recreational drugs that you can get without a prescription. It's hard for parents to understand what's going on. Drug dealers, drug suppliers go to extreme lengths to be able to sell you their killer drugs. Collateral damage means nothing to them. If you're a parent or a grandparent, and some of what I'm telling you is the first time you've probably heard it, you might need to consider getting acquainted with Community Prevention Services in Jacksonville. Why? They can help you to become more adept at identifying drugs you may find. Don't forget, some of it looks just exactly like other drugs that are legal to have in this country. As importantly, you'll need to learn the lingo. I remember that way back when. You know what? Things like girl, boy, you go down the street. I was going to buy some girl or some boy. You know what I was looking for? Girl was coke. Boy was heroin.
Nice.
Those were the words.
Yeah.
That was the lingo at that time. Have you heard your kids talking about Apache, blonde, blue diamond, butter, or China girl? Those are just some of the slang terms for fentanyl. Not all of them. There's a whole long list. You need to know what your kids are talking about, what code words they're using to keep you in the dark. Next, you need to know the symptoms that they exhibit when they're in need of drugs and when they're using the drugs. The best thing you can do is reach out to people over at Community Prevention Services. Keyword, prevention. That's important to the team there. If it becomes apparent that they have already gone beyond prevention, you're going to want community prevention services to help with the next steps. What part of this am I wrong at?
None of it.
First time I've been given an A+ in a long time. Call them today and set up an appointment, 910-353-0972. Y'all need to pay attention. Some of us actually know what we're talking about. 910-353-0972. Offshore today, winds out of the south 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 3. 3-foot waves from the south every 4 seconds. A bit choppy in the inlets, though. Somewhat uncomfortable for smaller boats in the ocean. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop. Tomorrow, southwesterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 3 to 4 feet. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop. And on Thursday, southwesterly winds again 10 to 15, seas 2 to 3. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop.
Today, showers and thunderstorms are possible afternoon. Partly sunny, a high of 87, with wind gusts as high as 16 miles an hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low of 74. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 94. Oh my goodness, with a heat index value
What happened?
of high as 107.
You got the right town.
Yeah.
She picked the equator.
Is that the right
report.
page?
Yeah, I know, right?
This is a report from the equator tomorrow.
And tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low of only 75. And on Thursday, mostly sunny, a high of 95. But that 107 heat index value for tomorrow, everyone, if you're going to be outside, you really need to be careful.
You do.
Not good.
I mean, last I saw the weather, it was like high 80s. What happened?
They lied.
That was last night.
They lied.
You better check. Did you punch in your eyes?
It's there. I saw it.
Yep. It is
Right now in Jacksonville, out here at the studio, it's 70 degrees. The thing is, the humidity is at 97%.
It's very humid.
Yeah, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like 76 out there because of the humidity.
Mm-hmm.
It is muggy. You step outside, and it's thick. The winds are non-existent right now. Yeah, there's zero.
Yeah, trees are still.
Yep.
Well, this is the problem. I was checking a local television station.
We're in Alaska. Like
they're showing 90, 92, 90, 89.
Yeah. And
rain coming.
107 heat index is
It'll be able to boil an egg out there.
telling you, take some cookie
We've
dough
done
and
that
make
before.
a cookie.
Out there on the
do
milk
that.
truck bumpers.
We did that. We used to do that to prove to people just how hot it was.
Mhm.
And you could put it on the pavement, and you wait a little while to do it. And sometimes critters come along and eat them. But I found a better way. And we did this to talk about how hot it is in your car for your kids and your pets.
That's
You
right.
put on a cookie sheet. You put some chocolate chip dough down there, and you put it on the dash of your car inside with the windows up. You can save energy,
Right.
but you don't have to use your stove. The middle part of the day, son, you will cook those cookies faster than you do in an oven.
Well, let me tell you my experience with cooking eggs on the bumpers of mail trucks. On a hot day, I give the safety talk, be careful out there, drink plenty of water. And so to prove to me that it was too hot to deliver the mail, I'd have a carrier occasionally try to cook an egg back there on their bumper, like that was going to get them out of carrying the mail.
No.
I understood though, because there was many of a day I delivered mail in the heat, and it's rough. It is rough.
Yeah, well, your air-conditioned vehicles that you've got are, the air
There are
conditioning
no-
is the door,
Look,
right?
I drove a personal vehicle, so I had air conditioning,
Oh.
but when it's like 97 degrees out
And your windows are down all the time.
and the windows are down, you do not feel the air.
No.
And then after a day of delivering those Piggly Wiggly circulars that were all black and white ink,
Oh,
I
that
would
came off
come back
everywhere.
in. Oh, my face, I would be covered with ink all over my face.
Yeah, those are the old
clothes.
printing days when all that stuff.
I hated those.
Ooh, yeah. that
I
was a mess.
hated those.
It's been more than 2 weeks. 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks now since a 20-year-old man opened fire on former President Donald Trump at a rally in Pennsylvania. He suffered a minor wound, the president did, from a bullet that clipped his right ear. He was lucky. A supporter in the stands died from a bullet wound. 2 others were wounded. So let's go to today. What do we know right now that we did not know a week after the shooting? Not much, apparently, but if you're paying attention, a whole lot. Timelines are everything. Let's look at the timeline. It seems that a local SWAT team saw the shooter on top of the roof. It seems that the shooter was observed with a rangefinder that golfers use. It seems like one officer was hoisted up to the edge of the roof and the shooter pointed a gun at him. Much of this occurring up to 90 minutes before Thomas Matthew Crooks fired 8 rounds from his AR-15 5.56 caliber rifle. Now we're learning that the Secret Service detail on the scene had not even met in advance with members of the local SWAT team, and apparently had no communications capabilities with the local officers, and that, in effect, never met them until after the shooting.
Yeah.
The advanced team, the team that's on the ground there, the snipers that were there, none of those people met the local cops. That's not the way it used to be. None of this is to take away from the tremendous job that the team assigned to protect Trump personally, one-on-one, did as soon as the first shot rang out. They covered his body completely, got him up and away as quickly as possible. There was a hitch there. The getaway car was partially blocked. It took some time to get out of that area. The good news is that Crooks was already dead by that time. A bullet from a Secret Service sharpshooter, a counter sniper they call him, hitting him in the head. The director of the Secret Service resigned after appearing before a congressional committee during the week after the attack. She answered very few questions with anything more than vague responses. That I can't fault her for. Everybody else seems to. The FBI is handling the shooting investigation, not the Secret Service. They are part of what's being investigated.
Right.
No agency nor Congress should interfere with that investigation. Too many different stories make it very difficult for investigators to get the full, real story. But the information now coming out does not look good for the agents, not on the protective detail. Any number of folks, including the Secret Service itself, have questions and they want answers. What we'll get and when we'll get it, who knows? Let me explain to you. Even the Federal Aviation Administration, along with the NTSB, investigating a plane crash can take a year or more to find out what screw was loose that caused the crash. How many times have you seen that? You know that crash that occurred 3 years ago? Well, we finally know what happened. That's the way it comes down. The Warren Commission, investigating the John Kennedy assassination back in 1963, released at least the parts the committee chose to release a little less than a year after the assassination. There are 26 volumes and more than 3,000 photos of evidence that was collected. Some exhibits have not been released to the public. In general, the commission concluded Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone, no kidding, and was not part of any conspiracy when he shot Kennedy. It also concluded that Jack Ruby, a strip club owner, was in an area where reporters had gathered to watch Oswald's transfer from one jail to another, that Ruby was known to law enforcement officers there and was friendly, and that he had a pistol in his pocket. The escort detail started moving Oswald when Ruby stepped forward and shot him from a close range, resulting in Oswald's almost immediate death. The commission also concluded that Ruby was not part of any conspiracy in the assassination and did not know Lee Harvey Oswald. Those are conclusions that today many people do not believe. In recently released information, the FBI says that Crooks purchased various chemicals along with gun-related items, not specified, but his parents did not think too much about it. The parents told investigators that their son was always conducting various experiments and that his interest in science did not raise any red flags for them when the products came through the mail. The agent interviewing the family said Crooks was not buying large quantities of ammunition online and that most of his purchases were shipped in. Crooks was a loner, seldom associating with anyone outside of his family. He attended college and held a steady job, a bit of an anomaly for an assassin, by the way. Crooks had made online searches related to power plants, mass shooting events, information on improvised explosive devices, U.S. elected officials, and the attempted assassination of the Slovakian prime minister earlier this year. A weird combination, but nothing would have set off any advance alarms. The FBI is still looking at Crooks' social media accounts. The investigation is ongoing, and his parents have sought legal assistance.
Oh, well, I imagine they had to.
The FBI says they are not out of the woods. The investigation is ongoing. My. So how much more do we actually know today than we knew 1 week or even the day of the shooting? Not a lot.
Not a lot.
We know there was a screw up somewhere.
I will say the more and more I hear personally, I feel like there was a failure of communication
We
and
got
it
that.
started at the Secret Service level.
Well,
That's my take on it.
the communications, I mean, the opportunity was there, but somehow the people in charge either paid no attention to the word coming to them, or the word could not get to them, because you got to understand local law enforcement in a situation like that. And Tim Spees may be listening, a retired Secret Service guy. The events that I went to, the locals were on the perimeter, outside the immediate area,
Right.
not in direct contact with, physically with the Secret Service.
Right.
I do not know for a fact, because I was a nothing, I do not know for a fact that they had people out there with radios that could talk to the Secret Service or not. Don't have a clue.
Correct.
Because
Yes.
different agencies have so many different radios and frequencies, and
That's right.
Yeah.
even on the same frequency bands, they've got systems that operate differently and they don't communicate with each other. It's a real pain in the butt.
Yes.
I don't know about this one.
I just feel like
I would think they should give 2 ham radio operators, put one with the locals and one with the Secret Service, and let them take care of that
that
problem.
would have been that could have worked very well. I just feel like that the Secret Service focused on the president himself right there at the front, but your local law enforcement agency, how many details have they had protecting someone like Trump?
Well,
Biden.
in a lot of cases, local law enforcement just, when there's a guy that's known to the police, how many times do we hear that, right?
Right.
He's known to law enforcement. Well, they know him. If he shows up at an event like that, the locals will know who he is, and they can raise those red flags in a heartbeat. But they also found this rangefinder in his possession. They found him using the rangefinder and his cell phone at the same time. They found him with these devices. It's not illegal. At that time, they were not on that rangefinder was not on the ban list. It was an innocuous little device that golfers use. It was not kind of one of those
Yeah.
sophisticated long range
And if I
devices.
saw it with somebody like that, my first thought would be he's using it as binoculars to see Trump.
Could be.
That would be my first thought.
So there are all sorts of things that are out there. I know that when I've gone through Secret Service lines, when Reagan was here, for instance, after the Beirut deal, I carried, we had our TV camera, of course, but I carried a very unusual camera for them. It was called a Hasselblad. Nobody in the media carried that. It's a portrait type thing. It's for commercial photography.
Oh, I see.
And it's a very sophisticated camera. And they couldn't take the lens off. They couldn't take the back off. They didn't know anything about it. So I had to do it for them. But I laid it all out on the table for them. Here's take the lens off, look through it. You can see through it, yada, 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 and all that sort of good stuff. So I knew what they were looking for. So I did it for them. And I gave them an education while I was at it. So that always helps. But, if they saw a golf rangefinder, I wonder what he's got that thing for. As a cop, I would say, wonder what he's got that thing.
Why didn't anybody go up to him and ask him?
They did not get confronted. I don't understand that either.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know a lot about security, but I'm not stupid either.
Yeah. Well,
there's a whole bunch of things,
there are lots of things. And to spot him on the
seem to
roof,
fall
because we've
through the
seen
cracks.
pictures, and these guys were sending pictures, but the pictures weren't getting to the right people.
That's right.
Well, then why didn't one of them take it upon themselves to go check?
One of them should have walked right up to the
I'd have been like,
Secret
dude,
Service.
why are you here?
When he was on the roof.
Yeah. When
He was on the
able to
roof.
left.
I mean, that is totally overly suspicious.
Correct.
That's when you get the bullhorn out, order him off the roof with his hands over his head.
Mm-hmm.
Come on up here, bud.
Well, why didn't one of them if it was a local cop or whoever and they felt like it was suspicious, why didn't they just break protocol and walk right up to Secret Service up
Because
there
you
at the
don't
stage?
do that because you leave your post unmanned and you're not supposed
I
to
mean,
do
no,
that.
there was
That
extras
that got done.
the guy standing around, the one that got the picture from the guys that took the picture of him.
Bullhorn. And the first thing
There's
I
a
would have
lot.
done, the biggest mistake was they did not notify the protected detail and the people that are handling
Well,
Trump,
that's what I'm saying.
Trump to keep him off the stage.
That's what I'm saying. Why didn't
He should
somebody
never have come on
personally
that
walk up
stage.
there? But There's a lot of failures in this.
Yeah.
A lot of failures.
Yeah, and it's a combination of failures, and there's
Yes.
not one person or agency that's to blame.
It was like a domino effect.
Yeah, it was.
So
Somebody on the high ranking end of the local cop should have been raising Cain. Okay, we're going to take another break, and probably going to have to take
I
two
was
of
going
them.
to say we
so-
should probably go ahead and just
Okay.
take
Yeah,
two of them back to back.
we'll take
Yeah.
a look at it, and we'll get this out of the way. So
Yeah.
hang in there. We'll be right back. You're live and local, Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m., WSME. If you would like to have words with us this morning, and I know some of you want to have some words with us, go ahead and email or go to Facebook Messenger and send us a message. You can email Lee. Her address is Lee C. Barrows at gmail.com. I got the evil eye then. Lee, Leec, as in Canada. Barrows. I don't know what she's got against Charlie. BARROWS at gmail.com, or our Facebook Messenger. Kelly is looking at that constantly. And give us your name and your telephone number. And if you want to say what it's about, that's cool. You can do that too. And then as soon as we get into our programming again, I'll call you. It will be coming from a restricted line. Do not hang up, because we'll be coming to you as soon as we get it cleared. You're live and local, Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m., WSME.
WSME.
Home Connections of Beulaville is connecting people with the American dream of home ownership. In addition to single wides, double wides, and modular homes, Home Connections offers custom building and land home packages throughout eastern North Carolina just for you. Whether it be a single wide, double wide, modular home, or custom built dream home, Home Connections will make it happen. Home Connections sincerely wants you to have the American dream, your own home. Home Connections features homes by Clayton with a variety of floor plans and amenities to choose from, and many finance options available. Home Connections can make owning your own home affordable and simple. 50% of new home buyers at Home Connections are through referrals, and references are gladly provided. For your convenience, Home Connections in Beulaville is now open from 9 to 6 Monday through Friday and 9 till 2 on Saturdays. Beautiful homes, friendly staff, and financing. All you need to do now is call Bobby or Reggie, 910-298-3387. That's 910-298-3387, or visit ourhomeconnections.com.
Home Connections, Highway 24, Beulaville, on your way to and from the beach.
Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing specializes in residential and commercial interior and exterior painting. In fact, they paint most anything except cars, including homes, businesses, apartment complexes, decks, and they do minor repairs, wood repairs, pressure washing, waterproofing, and more, including storm repair and cleanup. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing, fully licensed, insured, and locally owned and operated by Roger Carroll Jr. References available and customer satisfaction is always guaranteed. So if you want to painted, maintained, power washed, or need a new roof, call Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, and Power Washing at 910-939-0749 or visit southerntouchpaintingnc.com. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing salutes our troops and is proud to be part of the continued growth of Onslow and surrounding counties.
Have you gotten your copy of Topsail Times newspaper this week? If not, did you know that Topsail Times is Topsail area's only local newspaper in print? Started a little over a year ago, we now have over 1,500 online subscribers and 5,000 printed copies that go out every 2 weeks. And we never charge our readers. Information should be free to our readers, and we stick by that. Looking for an idea for date night? Want to learn some local history? How about asking a veterinarian about your pet? These things and more are available in each copy of the Topsail Times newspaper. Want to get the word out about your business? We offer great rates for full color ads, and the online paper version is always included for free. Need help designing the perfect ad? We can do that too. We're always looking for human interest stories, so start writing. And we love local photos too. Check out our website at topsailtimes.net, where you can find out where to pick up a copy or check out our latest publication online.
Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, your trusted local Carrier indoor weather team. Serving all of your heating and air conditioning needs since 1967, now offers commercial financing and residential financing as low as 0%. With hurricane season here, be prepared with a Generac generator for your home or business. Humphrey Heating and Air has Generac generators in stock, ready to install today. Humphrey Heating and Air also does residential and commercial plumbing, air duct cleaning for better breathing, and services all brands of HVAC. turn to the carrier experts, Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning. With locations in Jacksonville and Hempstead, visit online humphreyheating.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning since 1967. Relax, we're on the way.
Looking for a job? Full-time? Part-time? Il Cigno Italiano Restaurant wants you. We're currently hiring for hostesses, servers, bartenders, and dishwashers. Il Cigno Italiano is a family-owned, fast-paced restaurant that offers the best in fine dining on the Crystal Coast. If you're hardworking, reliable, professional, and have a desire to always strive for better, we want to talk to you. Make great money and be a part of an outstanding, dedicated team. Il Cigno on West Corbett Avenue in Swansboro.
Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, where we love to make you smile. Now proud to be working with Drs. Kim and Tommy Morgan, formerly Morgan Family Dentistry. The Jacksonville and Richlands Morgan offices of Lane & Associates Family Dentistry blends the latest technology with personal care and attention, so you have an amazing dental experience. The offices of Lane & Associates welcome all ages and accepts all major insurances, including military. Lane & Associates Family Dentistry has been serving the state of North Carolina for over 40 years, with 2 locations in Jacksonville, Richlands, and Maysville. Call for an appointment today at 877-LANE-DDS or online at lanedds.com. Welcome, Lane & Associates Family Dentistry. Mills International Incorporated, your local Cub Cadet dealer, is ready for summer. And you should be too, with the Cub Cadet Ultima Series. Come today and see how these zero-turn mowers have stepped up control with traditional lap to a familiar steering wheel experience. 4-wheel control provides precision, maneuverability, and stability on a variety of terrains, including hills up to 20 degrees. Adjustable automotive-inspired high back seat lets you comfortably cut at your maximum speed, while a heavy-duty mowing deck powers your yard for a premium cut. Combine steering wheel control with premium features of the Cub Cadet Ultima Series, and you get a zero-turn mower ready to unlock the possibilities of your lawn. Head to your local Cub Cadet dealer, Mills International Incorporated, at 801 South Queen Street, Kinston, for exceptional offers, expert advice, and a superior service. Scott Thigpen, owner of Mixed Masters Concrete, is happy to announce the opening of East Duplin Precast, LLC, specializing in durable 1,000-gallon concrete septic tanks. If you need a septic tank for your home or business, call Scott at 910-284-0547 or the plant manager, Jaime Espino, at 910-298-6153 or 910-915-9612. East Duplin Precast LLC can handle an order for 1 septic tank or as many as you need if you're a contractor. We're brand new. East Duplin Precast LLC specializes in durable concrete septic tanks. 3663 North Carolina Highway 24, East Beulahville. Proud to be a part of the continuing growth of Duplin, Onslow counties, and all of eastern North Carolina.
Summer vacation season is here, and if your plans include hitting the road to do some traveling, then make sure to visit to Silent Service Centers on your to-do list. Travel safety starts with the tires on your vehicle. A trip to Silent Service Center will give you peace of mind, with the best value on all name brand tires, and the largest selection of used tires in the area. In addition to quality tires, Silent Service Center is a North Carolina inspection station and does complete brake service, oil changes, and alignment service. And what is really nice is there's no long wait time. Silent Service Center knows you are busy and will have you back on the road in a hurry. Silent Service Center, 1707 Lejeune Boulevard, Jacksonville, and 108 West Main Street, Havelock. Phone 910-353-4760.
Attention property owners, are you fed up with bad tenants, under market rents, and late payments? At Fountain Management, we provide unrivaled levels of expertise and all the tools and services you need to make owning a rental property easy and profitable. Are you ready to talk about taking the management of your real estate investment to the next level? Well, contact us today. Management 910-455-1609. We will make owning your rental property simple and rewarding.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
It's live and local real talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Okay, we're back. And for those of you who don't remember at the beginning of the show, I'm Rayford Brown. And this is Kelly. And this is Lee.
Okay, Rayford.
All right.
Yesterday, I had the pleasure of the honor of having to meet and watch the new Jacksonville Police Chief be sworn in, Jared Felt.
Yes.
He's my goodness gracious, he got nice credentials. I looked him up, of course, and he's got a lot of good law enforcement credentials. Got a lot of good accolades from up there in Virginia.
Right.
So he decided he was going to move south, and he was assistant chief up there, deputy chief. I don't know what their title is, but anyway, basically the similar. So he was he applied for a job here. Chief Mike Yanero, been here since 2005. He's still here, going to stay here, but he is stepping down as the chief of police portion of his duties, and he's going to resume and consume and get involved in the public safety director's position. So that's good.
That's pretty cool.
He will be overseeing both the police and the fire department, and you know, no doubt the EMS stuff, a lot of it too, as it relates to the city and the involvement. And it's going to work out very well. And we've got a new chief coming in, and it's not like it's going to be a sudden change in philosophy or anything like that, because as the new chief, as Phelps said yesterday, he took a hard look at this operation before he came here too, as he should have. I mean, when you leave a job that you've been at for like 28 years or something, you kind of want to make sure you're not jumping into something that's amiss. And he's jumping into something that's anything but a mess.
Correct. Yes.
Under Chief Yanero and the men and women of the police department and the city council, they've been very supportive of the police department, as well they should. Since 2007, I think Mayor Phillips has been running it, and he's 30 years as a police officer here, retired as deputy chief.
Yes.
But so it's a very law enforcement friendly venture. So if you walk into a job like that and everybody's going to like you up front, as long as you don't screw up, you're going to be, why not? That would be like retirement in his
big
case.
shoes to fill.
He has got big shoes to fill, but I think he's the man. He's based upon everything that I've looked at and the comments that have been made online, some things that are there. He doesn't have a baggage problem like so many people do. As we find out every time somebody runs for political office, they also have lots of baggage areas. There are so many of them.
I'm sure somebody's going to try to do something.
So, but anyway, I chatted with him for just about a minute and a half, and he's going to be coming on the show.
Yes.
Chief Yanero is going to be running him around town, escorting him, showing him the ins and outs. Right. But he took his oath of office yesterday. He's got a sense of humor. Putting the badge on him, his daughter was given that duty.
I saw that.
Did you? And as she was putting it on him, she's a little shorter. She's putting it on him. He said, "Ouch!" And he says, "I just get it." And she jumped. I'm sure that household probably has a lot of fun as well. That's good. You've got to have a sense of humor. And if you're a cop and without a sense of humor, you're probably not going to survive.
I will say one thing, and this is just my OCD about this. We need to get him some gold stars. If you're wearing a gold badge, you need to have gold stars, not silver.
Okay, I've got a gold pen, a paint pen up there.
Yes.
When I see him, I will paint it.
We need to date that for him. I mean,
Okay,
I was
well,
like, why?
How about the
silver?
handcuffs? Should he get gold handcuffs to go with
That
that?
doesn't matter. But what the uniforms? You're going to have a gold badge. You need gold stars, not silver. We need it to match.
Chief, that's what you got to put up with when you come in here.
It's okay. We're going to get him some gold stars for when he comes in.
Let's take a break, do a little station ID, and we'll be right back. We don't have Fox News again this hour, but we'll be right back. It's 72 degrees in Jacksonville. You're live and local Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
WSME, Camp Lejeune, W246CJ, Jacksonville. Freedom 97.1.
WSME.
It's live and local. Real Talk.
Yeah, it is kind of weird not having Fox News to jump in there, so we could take a 60-second.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, never enough time to make a potty call, but anyway. Now, I was going to give you our telephone number, leecbarrows@gmail.com, or our Facebook Messenger page. Send us a message, leave us your name, and leave us your telephone number. That's important. please include your area code, and we'll call you right back. We'd love to talk with you. We're a wounded state this week since we got hit by lightning a week ago. We're not sure how long. They say do not even ask. You can call from time to time for status report, but we'll get your stuff back to you. I do have
eventually
indications, crossing both fingers here, that the audio will be better coming back.
Nice.
From the company, because they have made some revisions in these units, and they're going to make sure they get upgraded. And they also offered a couple of suggestions to do here for some modifications that I'm making to help some of the issues that we had with some feedback, and the audio quality was not exactly what I liked. Of course, I'm never satisfied with audio quality.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
I know,
never
but
know
that's
what
okay.
we're walking into.
So,
There's laptops everywhere now.
yeah, one, two,
We got
three, four. I only got four working over here for me. 1, 2, 3, 4. The X is out there.
Yes, it
You haven't
is.
mentioned that this morning at all.
Well, I don't
No.
see the X. You don't have it up. So
It's-
it's out of sight, out of mind.
Oh,
This is a guessing game right now
well, that's
for
right. I was
everybody.
looking up a guy. I walked in last night before I hit the bed, and I heard a guy calling, and he's a dude out of Moscow that I've been talking to for many years now, off and on. And interesting. So I called Tully, and I left his name and information up there because I log it on the computer
Yes.
every time I do that. So, and I forgot to put it back so you can see the big X. So I will give you the big X right here. See it? See it? It's right there.
It's moving along.
It's
All right.
orange.
As of 8 o'clock this morning, near the Greater Antilles and the Bahamas, a large tropical wave centered several hundred miles east of the Lesser Antilles is producing limited shower activity due to environmental dry air. Conditions, however, are forecast to become a little more conducive for development over the warmer waters of the southwestern Atlantic Ocean, and a tropical depression could form late this week while the system is in the vicinity of the Greater Antilles or the Bahamas. The Bahamas are close, y'all. So if it's going to get that close over the weekend, it's going to be picking up some forward motion and zip on through there. The formation chance through 7 days between now and a week from today, 60%. That's increased dramatically. Okay. Interest in the Greater Antilles, the Bahamas, and the southeastern United States should monitor the progress of this system. I'll put the big X up back there on the monitor so you can see it all day, every day you're here. No reason to run and scream and shout and carry on. We don't have any information that it will form into anything. And if it does, we don't know where it's going to go.
I don't think it's even become an invest yet, has it?
No.
Yeah, so
we don't know anything. So right now, 60% chance over 7 days of it will do something. Something we don't know what it is and where it will go. We don't know. It has not. It's been fairly stationary. It's just a mass out there right now.
right.
So we'll keep you up to date. Just as soon as we know something, you'll know it. Okie dokie, we're worried. President Biden's response to House Speaker Mike Johnson's pushback against his radical changes to the Supreme Court, the proposals for radical changes to the Supreme Court baffled social media users yesterday. Biden penned a Washington Post op-ed piece on Monday calling on Congress to impose term limits and a code of conduct on the Supreme Court while also drafting limits on presidential immunity. I will say right up front, none of that is going anywhere. It has to get through the Senate. The Senate says, ain't no way, but we'll talk about it. Johnson was quoted as saying Biden's proposal was dead on arrival in Congress. When asked about that, Biden turned the comment back on. I want y'all to try to follow this because I had to read it several times. That's what he is, Biden said in a video posted by the Washington Post. When pressed for clarification, Biden added, he is dead on arrival. Talk about vague. Biden reiterated this comment during his prepared remarks on his op-ed at the LBJ Presidential Library in commemoration of the 60th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act. The Republican Speaker of the House says whatever he proposes is dead on arrival.
Yeah.
Huh?
I know what Mike Johnson's meaning by that, but
The Republican Speaker of the House says whatever he proposes is dead on arrival. That's what Biden said. Well, I was thinking his thinking is dead on arrival. Even ex-users thought his comments were bizarre. Those were some of the comments that were followed.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I know what it means, and I know what he's trying to say. It's his way of saying it. But, you know, he's trying to bring forth all these new laws regarding the Supreme Court justices and stuff, and he wants to enact this. And what Mike Johnson's saying is you can do anything you want to because we will kill it once it gets to the House.
Okay.
That's
So
right.
I'm tracking now.
That part
All
was
right.
easy, but Biden's response to that was the Speaker of the House is dead on arrival, huh?
What does that mean? Okay. Well, whatever.
Yeah, he's just, we all know is.
All right, let's go to the other Biden.
My most important question to you right now is, we know Biden has got issues and he's just a lame duck president.
Yes.
He's just going to work out the rest of his time. And so nothing's going to get done. He's lame duck. Kamala, whatever. I hear it two different ways
I get it
constantly.
twice in the same sentence. I'll use it two different ways.
Yeah,
Just
so
forget it.
she's busy out giggling, doing campaigning. Who's running the country?
Same people have been running it the past 3 years.
Obama and Pelosi and well, anyway.
I thought Pelosi retired.
We have somebody that wants to call in, and I'm going to send you the number right now.
Oh boy!
All right,
Whatever happened to, remember back in the beginning of July, Trump was supposed to be sentenced for his whatever, and the judge postponed it. Whatever happened with that?
I was reading something about that yesterday, and right now I'm brain dead on it because it was no, postpone, probably not going to happen, words along that effect.
So they're just going to kind of let it die on the vine?
I guess. I don't know.
Can you do that legally? I didn't think
it'll
so.
It'll have to
Okay.
have some kind of a something at some point.
Because there'll be a whole bunch of people wanting that to happen if that's the case.
Yeah.
Convicted but not sentenced.
We got our number yet?
Yes, I don't want to give it.
don't
send
give
Don't
it
say it
over
over the air. Just write it on a piece of paper. Here.
That's what I'm doing.
Right
she's
here.
typing it.
Oh, okay.
Problem is, I have to go back and forth to this other to get. Give me 1 second. It's one of our regular callers here.
So start with 252.
Nope.
Okay.
910.
Give it now.
Okay.
I just area code is all I'm giving out.
If this keeps up very long, I'm going to put all of these numbers in the computer so I can just pull them up by name.
We're like the Three Stooges on here. Like,
Yeah, you got that right. Let's see.
It's okay. We're making it work.
Yeah,
We're
we're
making
doing
it
it.
work.
It's
We're doing
cool.
good.
It's all good.
That's right.
Let's listen to I like to hear this ringtone. Don't you? That's pretty
Yes.
cool. Hey, Chris, how are you?
Hey, Chris.
Good. Good morning. Good morning. It's a fun time here in the you would appreciate the multitude of computers and the shenanigans we have to go through to do a few things, but it's working.
It is working.
It's working.
Yeah.
What's on your mind, Chris?
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, about the lame duck, quack. And maybe Rick Dees can get him to do a reversion of Disco Duck, call him Demo Duck.
No, there you go.
It's interesting. He wants the Supreme Court to have term limits, right?
Uh-huh.
So I've made some comments. I'm actually on retreat from making political things, but I decided on this one I had to. So if you go back to the year, I believe it was 1815.
I remember that year.
I'm sure a record in your history book. Where Congress and Senate started receiving their first pay of $6 a day, and they didn't think it was enough, so they wanted more and more. It got up to $1,500 a day. The Americans didn't really get into a revolution about it, but they really got enough pressure where they didn't do that anymore. They said, okay, no, we can't do that. They somewhere got down to, I can't remember how much it was then, but it came down to the pay of an average government clerk. That's how much they got paid in 1865.
Uh-huh.
Now, how many of these people that have no term limits, like Congress and Senate, would work for the average pay of a good government clerk right now, which is about $38,000? How many of these people would actually stay as many years as they have?
None. Not one.
The problem is, back then, citizens could show their outrage about it and make some headways. Now, if you show it, you're either a protester, you're a demonstrator, whatever they want to call the people that January 6th of the year that January 6th starts fading state. Wasn't he proposed term limits for the House and Senate? Why is it? I know why he wants it on the Supreme Court.
Well, because he was in the Senate for 46 years or something himself.
Yeah. I've served. I do this great Joe Biden on this retreat. I was doing a lot of people that love it. But, people, look, for God's sake, where are we at? We need term limits. We need term limits.
We do.
For the Supreme Court, because they're so out of reach. And they're mostly Republicans. I like people that are also talking about, and I'm trying to avoid the birth and all these other issues surrounding Roe v. Wade and things. But does anyone really realize that if I'm not mistaken, please someone correct me, all that the Supreme Court did was put these laws back into the control of the states?
Yep.
That's what they've done.
Yep.
Blame Donald Trump all you want. They made it up to the states. So why is Kamala, whatever people want to call her, trying to blame Trump for it?
He's easy and he's the target, and you got to have a target. You got to go after somebody, and Trump is an easy target because they want to do anything they can, whether there's any layer of truth attached to it or not, to destroy whoever they're trying to attack, who's running for office. That's whether it's Donald Trump, it's whether it's going to be Kamala, whatever her name is, Harris. It's going to be whoever is running for office. The opposition party, the opposing party, is going to go after them one way or the other. They're doing it with Mark Robinson now in North Carolina. They've even taken pot shots at his wife, and she apparently screwed up somewhere down the line. So good, got to pay your dues. But if you're doing it for political reasons,
Yeah, well, and it's interesting. Cooper said he was withdrawing. Actually, he got vetoed. The king of veto got vetoed by Harris. People. He got vetoed. So how's it feel? The thing is this. Okay, she is not qualified to be president. She has no qualification.
None.
In Senate, she sponsored one bill. It got defeated. As a judge in California, she started having parents arrested because their children weren't going to school. Really?
Yep.
That's who you want running the country, representing us in front of other foreign leaders. And by the way, they can say what they want to about it was a conflict of interest why she wasn't there to meet the Prime Minister of Israel.
Because she had to meet some sorority sisters.
Go ahead, Ricker.
She had to meet some sorority sisters and talk to them about how great she is.
Yes, but do you know on her vice president's schedule that's available online, she had nothing scheduled for those days until Biden made his famous, I'm quitting now, I'm going to leave, but I'm going to finish out my term. You can't finish out a term when you only have 6 months left. It's almost like, okay, look, you can put in your 6 months notice. Here's your pay for 6 months. See you later. Goodbye. Have a nice retirement.
Mm-hmm.
What's he going to do?
Nothing.
Okay, same thing he did first for
3.5 years.
Of his career is the president. I'm not saying presidents are perfect. They're far from it. Trump did what he said. He just tweeted too much. Get off the tweet, Donnie. Just keep making America great again.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
It is as simple as that. Keep America great. Make it greater if you can. We got a lot of work to do. Trust me, there's a lot of work to be done in this country. There's a lot of things that's got to be fixed. And you know what? Virtually everyone that I end up talking with, and I've asked people, what is the biggest problem facing this nation today? I'm going to take a wild guess. I should have kept a record of it, but at least 65%. Guess what they said? The southern border.
The southern border. The economy would be second. That's just my guess.
Yeah, the economy was right there, but they all would talk about the southern border without a doubt. It's either one or two, number one or number two.
Well, let me leave on this because I'm sure other people might want to get on this thing. Two things. One, everyone's talking about how much money she raised in a week or 2 weeks. Go to the Federal Elections Commission. It's online. It's an easy site to look at. See who all the donors are. I'm not talking about the big ones like, whatever that movie channel is, border movies on
Netflix.
Yeah, okay, that one, and LinkedIn and all these other big owners and Gates and Mrs. Gates and all these other people, But they're PACs. Political action committees are doing the big donations.
That's
not
what they
Rayford
do.
Brown, not Lee Burrows, not Kelly Knapp, not Chris Moore. It's not little people that have made up this millions of dollars. It's political action committees that want something should you get elected.
Yep.
Okay? It's as simple as that. People. It's not Biden stuff now. People. Listen. Get out there. Give Kamala money. Please. You want to do that.
If you start whispering, Chris, this is over with.
I'm sorry.
Disregard it, Chris.
Y'all have a good day.
You too.
Thank you, Chris. I'll explain it to you later, Chris. Okay, let's take a break. And, y'all can go up there and chill if you'd like. You're live and local, Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME, and we might be right back.
Freedom 97.1.
Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro can save you money on your automobile insurance with new options that are available now. Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro goes the extra mile to make sure you are in good hands, like helping you customize your auto, home, and windstorm coverage with their Write Your Own Home policy. Yes, save even more when you bundle your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, and even your golf cart. Remember, if it rolls or floats, call Tammy for a quote. You and everything you own are in good hands with Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro. Save more money on your automobile insurance today with Tammy Fry Allstate. Phone 910-326-5383 today. Tammy Fry Allstate, 638 West Corbett Avenue in the friendly city by the sea, Swansboro.
For 40 years now, people throughout Jacksonville and Onslow County have trusted Barnes Diamond Gallery for all their jewelry needs for every special occasion. They understand that every day is a special event for someone, whether celebrating a wedding, anniversary, birthday, engagement, or graduation. Let Barnes Diamond Gallery custom design something for you. Barnes Diamond Gallery does on-site repair in addition to their quality and selection of diamonds, diamond fashion bands, pendants, watches, earrings, gemstone rings, and necklaces for anyone for any occasion. Major credit cards accepted. Layaway available. Barnes Diamond Gallery offers appraisals and paid top market prices for gold and silver. Barnes Diamond Gallery, 461 Western Boulevard, Suite 120, Jacksonville, open 9:30 to 5:30, Monday through Friday.
Looking for a job? Full-time? Part-time? Il Cigno Italiano Restaurant wants you. We're currently hiring for hostesses, servers, bartenders, and dishwashers. Il Cigno Italiano is a family-owned, fast-paced restaurant that offers the best in fine dining on the Crystal Coast. If you're hardworking, reliable, professional, and have a desire to always strive for better, we want to talk to you. Make great money and be a part of an outstanding, dedicated team. Il Cigno Italiano on West Corbett Avenue in Swansboro.
If you're a biker or motorcycle enthusiast and love the mountains of North Carolina, then the Clarkton Motel in beautiful Maggie Valley, North Carolina, in the heart of the Great Smoky Mountains, is the place for you. You see, the Clarkton Motel is biker owned and offers bike tours through some of the most beautiful and breathtaking scenery in the world. While visiting, you may want to visit the Wheels Through Time Museum. Wheels Through Time is home to the world's premier collection of rare American vintage motorcycles and houses over 300 of America's rarest and most historic classic motorcycles, including the likes of Harley-Davidson, Indian, Excelsior, Henderson, and many more. The Clarkton Motel has a pool, kitchens, and king and queen size beds are available and offers Sunday through Thursday discount. That's the Clarkton Motel, 1527 Soco Road, Maggie Valley, North Carolina. For reservations, phone 1-800-787-998. Visit www.motorcyclefriendlymotel.com.
This is Bill from Bill Cycle Salvage in Jacksonville, North Carolina, and I approve this message.
When you need comforting, who do you call? An old friend, right? Jacksonville Heating Contractors services the heating and cooling needs of our area with dependable quality train systems, guaranteeing indoor comfort for your home or business. In addition to quality train systems, Jacksonville Heating Contractors offers 24-hour emergency service, NATE certified technicians, and over 50 years of experience and service you can trust. And with a Jacksonville Heating Contractor service agreement, you never pay retail for heating or cooling services and receive priority scheduling. Remember, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And in New Bern, you call Trent Heating and Air Conditioning 252-633-2200. In Morehead City, Sea Air Heating and Cooling 252-247-1122. If you need service or repairs, just call an old friend. Jacksonville Heating Contractors, an independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. For deals on train systems and more, visit anoldfriend.com or call 910-347-2843.
It's live and local real talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
And your Marine Weather Forecast is brought to you by Community Prevention Services. Efforts are being made just as hard as they can, but the war on drugs hasn't made much of a dent so far into the drug trafficking world. Fentanyl remains at the top of the deadliest drugs flooding into the United States. Why? It's cheap to produce. Mexican drug cartels handle the business of actually packaging the killer drugs and sending the synthetic opioids across our porous border. It's wide open down there. Nobody's doing anything to stop it. Kelly and others like her attend all these conferences. She just spent a week up in Chicago. She said it felt like a month. Regularly to get the latest information, and the results are astounding. Meth, cocaine, fentanyl, even tons of marijuana are flowing freely, reaching Americans, killing Americans. Substance abuse is at an all-time high. It has an effect on more than just our physical and mental well-being. Families are destroyed. Individuals lose their jobs, blow their money, all for the sake of the misnamed, it should never have been named a recreational drug, one that you can get without a prescription. It's hard for parents to understand what's going on out there. Drug suppliers to extreme lengths and to be able to sell you their killer stuff, right? Collateral damage doesn't mean anything to them. They don't care if you're a parent or a grandparent. And some of what I'm telling you is the first time you've heard it, you might need to consider getting acquainted with Community Prevention Services. They can help you to become more adept, more aware at identifying drugs you may find. Don't forget, some of it looks exactly like other drugs that are legal. As importantly, you need to know what you're talking about. You need to know what the lingo is. You need to know what your kids and grandkids are saying. If you hear your kids talking about something called Apache, Blonde, Blue Diamond, Butter, or China Girl, they're just some of the slang names for fentanyl. You need to know what your kids are talking about. Don't do it. Those code words they're using, they use them to keep you in the dark. Next, you need to know the symptoms they exhibit when they're in need of drugs and when they're using drugs. You need to contact the counselors at Community Prevention Services. Keyword, prevention. It's better to prevent it. That's important to the team. If it becomes apparent that they have already gone beyond prevention, you're going to want to Community Prevention Services to help with the next steps. Call them today and set up an appointment. 910-353-0972. Offshore today, south winds out of the south at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet, 3-foot waves from the south every 4 seconds. A bit choppy in the inlets and somewhat uncomfortable for small boats in the ocean. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop. Tomorrow, southwesterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 3 to 4 feet, sounds and rivers a moderate chop. And on Thursday, southwesterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet, sounds and rivers a moderate chop.
Today, partly sunny, a high of 87, with gusty winds as high as 60 miles an hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low of 74. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 94, with a heat index value as high as 107 and 15-mile-an-hour gusts, which makes a hot wind. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low of 75. And on Thursday, mostly sunny, a high of 95, with no heat index value yet, but stay tuned.
Okay. Let's see here. We got another caller here. Let's see if he's on the line now. Hey, Tim, how are you? Tim?
Hello.
There you are. How you doing?
All right. What's going on?
Not a whole lot. It's all about you.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Yeah. I got an echo going here.
Okay. Are you using your cell phone and have you got your cell phone tuned into
Are you on speaker?
speakerphone, or do you have your cell phone also tuned into Facebook or something like that?
I think both. I'm tuned into your radio show and also I'm on speakerphone.
Okay. Well, if you're listening on the one device and you're listening to me on the same device, you're probably going to get an echo.
Now it seems to be good. So
Okay. Yeah, you sound better now.
Yeah, speakerphones are awful for that too. All right, Tim.
There you go.
Retired Secret Service agent. Thank you for checking in with us. I was calling you out earlier. I needed some help.
Yeah. So I guess Ron's going to talk. Ron Rowe, the acting director, he's going to talk today at 10 o'clock.
That's what I
Senate
hear.
hearing.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Should be interesting.
How's your guy there? Have you? You probably have not had contact with him. The guy that's was kind of in charge of that unit, the whole thing. He was from the sector, right? He was from Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, or somewhere.
No, who's that?
One of your friends, somebody you knew.
From Pittsburgh, the actual district that the shooting took place.
Right.
No, I haven't. I haven't talked to anybody from there.
Okay.
And I don't anticipate them to talk to me.
Probably not. Yeah, Eddie, buddy, I tell you what, it's coming down looking pretty nasty up there. I'm not sure how the communications failed, but how would you classify communications when you were there? Normally they, as I recall from way back when, on a couple of occasions, the locals were in some kind of comms with the Secret Service.
It's not so much really communications. It's more, and I guess, everybody thinks this. Everybody thinks that local police, state police, they're connected into our radios and everybody hears everybody. And that's just not the case.
I know,
okay?
that's the problem.
There's no way you can do that. Okay. So the actual layman person would have a hard time understanding that. Their reasoning is good, but again, it's one of those things. Now, what happens, though, is we usually are paired up where you each have a radio and you do have communication with the central point of comms. So, again, I am going to go back to that event was July 13th. The only thing I can see is that they treated him like a former president, and they did not treat him like a candidate.
Right.
And so, therefore, things were different. And so, with that being said, if you're going to approach something one way and then you approach it another, well, your outcome may be different.
Sure. Well, former presidents are not generally considered to be much of a target. I assume that's the way the Secret Service would look at it, right?
Well, typically what happens is when you become a former, there is a little bit of there's a little lag time after they get out of office because they had just left, and some of the things that they may have done within the last 6 months or a year may have affected groups or people, whichever. But see, again, the issue with President Trump is he has the capabilities of being reelected. That has not happened in over 120 years.
Right.
So this is where I think one of the parameters of the failure is that they probably looked at him at a certain level when they should have looked at him at a different level. So,
And me looking at it as a layman, I would look at every candidate running as a potential target because there are people out there that don't want to elect it. That's just kind of goes along with life, right? There are people out there that don't want this guy or that guy elected. And
yeah, exactly. I mean,
former guys are
that's what happened when Wallace got shot back in the 60s. I mean, he was in a crowd and someone just came up and they just didn't like him.
Yep.
And so, it's not that they don't personally like him, although there's a lot of people that personally do not like Donald Trump because of the way he talks.
Yep.
Some of the things that he says, but I actually have never really heard anybody say, oh, well, I don't like the fact that he helped out, Israel and, some of the major things, the national platform.
His is mostly personal. I think I agree with you.
It's all like, oh, I don't like the way he talks. I don't like the way he tweets. And I'm like, you really have to get over that. And you have to look past that. Yes, none of the other past presidents really conducted themselves that way, but then none of the past presidents have ever been in the limelight like he has. I mean, he's been in the limelight since he's probably 30. So he's a billionaire. So, I mean, that's that, but it'll be interesting. And, everybody talks about this shooter on the roof. Okay, look, that was a failure. Okay. The roof thing was a failure. Let's just admit that and move on.
Yep.
What we need to find out is we need to start digging with the shovel and say, hey, okay, what transpired before that didn't allow at least one cop over near that building, at least one. So that's where the communication breakdown is, and that's where they need to reevaluate. I think there's never just one factor. There's always multiple.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that perhaps because local cops they have apparently taken pictures of it and were trying to send it to somebody and it never made it there with their cell phone? Do you think that local cops, and I'm going to put myself, if I had been in a situation like that, I would be afraid to take initial action. Well, maybe not me, but a lot of guys would. But I see a guy up there on the roof. He's got a gun and he doesn't respond because I'd be hollering at him. And he doesn't respond. Well, then, you got to do what you got to do. But do you think that because Secret Service is in charge
I'll tell you what, I'll give you a great example. I remember this the other day. Okay.
All right.
It's not the same, but it's still a little bit like it. I'm in Conshohocken, Philadelphia, and I'm at a hotel, and Vice President Dick Cheney is visiting, and we have an arrival, and I'm downstairs in the service hallway of the hotel, and as you come in through the back door near the loading dock, it goes straight up, and then it goes up an elevator or stairs. Well, at an arrival, I literally, and I'm situated right in the middle of the hallway, so I can look right and left. And I literally look to my left and I see the staff starting to come. I see the military guys, and then I see Vice President Cheney. And I just happen to look to my right, and out of the corner of my eye, I see this little foreigner who worked there, and he's just strolling down the hallway, and he's got a brown paper bag.
First thing you think, Sirhan, right?
The first thing I'm thinking is, this guy is pretty slick. He just acts like a normal. So I make a beeline to him, and I go over, and I just say, what are you doing? And he looks at me, and he's shocked. And I did that because I wanted to see what his reaction was. Because if he meant to do harm, he probably would have went ahead and did it.
Mm-hmm.
He just had this look of shock. I said, get against the wall.
Ooh.
I took him, I turned him, I pinned my body up against his, and I made sure his hands were against the wall. And I mean, I had him slammed against that wall heavy. And as they walked by, I felt these 2 taps on my shoulder, and I look, and it was my SAC, my boss from the office. He just gives me the thumbs up, like he saw it all in front of his eyes. And so it happens. What I'm trying to say to you is, it happens where sometimes the person gets through, not so much the bad guy, but the person, and it's how you react. It's how you recover. And so there was a door right there. And so it made sense. He left every day. He just went out the side door and he departed work. Well, I pushed him out the door once they were gone. I said, don't you come back here and don't look back. So, but with regards to the roof, it could have been one of those things where many of the locals were like, oh, it's so obvious. I know they got it covered. Okay. Then on the other hand, I heard on ABC News that the local SWAT, I'm going to say counter sniper teams and SWAT teams from the locals. This is what I heard on ABC News, is that they never had communications initially with the Secret Service.
That's what I heard.
It's a big faux pas. That should have never happened. They should have had at least initial introduction, and they should have at least had an initial, hey, what's going on today?
The other thing that I gave some thought to when I saw the picture of the dude on the roof, I said, well, you know what? Maybe somebody there said, well, maybe that's just one of those Secret Service SWAT guys, and he's in civilian clothes. Not knowing prior communications, I understand. Prior communications, though, would alleviate
what your
that
deal
problem.
is. Yeah, what your deal is, law enforcement at events like this will always be in uniform.
Yep.
And the only ones that will not be will be us and possible counterparts.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we have a way of determining that. So I know for a fact, if any of those guys, locals, worked with us prior, they would have been able to tell that this guy was not one of us, without a doubt. Okay, first of all, from the hair. The hair was dead giveaway.
Absolutely.
You'd never have a Secret Service agent with hair that long.
Nope.
Okay, 2, we would never dress like that. So, being in a tactical position, law enforcement pretty much has to identify themselves visually first. And you'll probably agree with me, this is that you come to a house, you usually have some type of police marking on, so when they visually see you, they know, hey, that's the police. And it doesn't matter whether it's federal, state, local, county, whatever. It's going to say police on it.
Yes.
And then you start the verbal communication.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's, can't wrap my head around this one. Can't understand why he was up there, how he got up there. In my opinion, I have not heard anything on TV, no briefings whatsoever, no justification of how this thing unfolded, nothing. And that itself is a crime.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to find out something. Hopefully, this acting director at 10 o'clock will shed a little bit of light.
So there's going to be a presser at 10.
I don't know if it's going to be a presser. It's just going to be an address. I don't know.
Okay.
There's something.
I'll be watching.
I think they're going to treat it just like the way they questioned Cheadle.
Yeah.
I worked with Ron. Ron and I were on an advanced team back in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
He did. He was a protective intelligence agent, and I was a site agent. He was actually the agent. Funny side story. John Kerry went skiing out at Ketchum, Idaho, on the one ski slope, and they asked who of us could ski, and he said I could. So he went up, and the two collided. And it was funny because Ron was like, I gave him all the room in the world.
Uh-oh.
And the press flipped it around and said that he ran into him. And then, everybody was like, is it true? He's like, no way. He goes, why would I get that close to him? And I'm like, yeah. And so he eventually, by the end of the night, they did a little presser, TV interview down on the bottom of the slope near the Chateau Village, whatever. And
right.
He said, yeah, he goes, it was my bad. He goes, I should have swerved when I turned. So, but, and they showed him apologizing to Ron, right on TV. So that was cool. That was at least, that was cool. But yeah, well, we had a good time. He's a good worker. Quiet guy, solid. So I don't know, but 25 years can change it,
I'll be looking at him this morning. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All
Tim.
righty.
Tim, you take care.
All right, guys. Have a good morning. Take
Thanks.
care.
All right, we'll take a quick break. Going to be there. I'm going to call you right now, so hang in there. You're live and local, Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Mohawk All Pet Protection and Warranty is the only cover protection and warranty for all pets, all accidents, all the time. Because your pets are family members too. No matter how you live, we've got you covered. Soft, luxurious, smart strand forever clean carpet. Gorgeous, durable, Solitech luxury vinyl tile. Mohawk has the ultimate floor for every room in your home that's suitable for all pets. For details, contact Watkins Floor Covering online at watkinsnewfloor.com. Watkins Floor Covering, thanking you for voting them the best of the best for 2023 in the flooring covering and carpet cleaning category. Watkins Floor Covering, they're more than just floors. It's custom showers, custom tubs, carpet cleaning, backsplashes, bathrooms, commercial, retail, and home flooring too. Watkins Floor Covering, family owned and operated since 1997 with locations in Jacksonville and Surf City. Watkins Floor Covering, you stand on it, we stand behind it.
If you plan to rebuild, remodel, repair, or do cottage or home improvements, Williams Hardware, 3011B Bridges Street, Morris City, should be your first stop. Williams Hardware carries power tools and equipment, chains and fasteners, plumbing and electrical supplies, along with Gerber, Buck, and Case knives. Williams Hardware is your helpful, handy hardware store. Williams Hardware cuts glass to size and custom threads pipe. When the chores are done and the cleanup is finished, light up that Wilmington grill from Williams Hardware. Williams Hardware, 3011B Bridges Street, Morris City. Open Monday through Saturday from 7:30 till 6 p.m. and Sundays for your convenience, noon till 5. Phone Williams Hardware, 252-726-7158. Safety on the highways begins with your tires. Before you hit the highway the rest of this summer vacation season, visit Battlefield Tire Pros, 103 Norris Road, Highway 24 in Swansboro, and let them inspect your tires for your peace of mind before traveling. Since 1963, Battlefield Tire Pros has served our community and military neighbors with name brands such as Michelin, Uniroyal, Firestone, Goodyear, and many others, including a good selection of used tires. They also carry lawnmower tires, four-wheeler tires, and motorcycle tires. And alignment service is available by appointment. Save time and money by skipping the dealerships and the big box stores and let locally owned and operated Battlefield Tire Pros of Swansboro handle all your tire and alignment needs. Battlefield Tire Pros at the corner of Norris Road and Highway 24 and the friendly city by the sea, Swansboro. Phone 910-326-4178 or visit Battlefield Tire Pros online at battlefieldtirepros.com.
The best deal for the grill is at Jones LP Gas and Oil Company each Friday. Every Friday from 8 a.m. till closing at 5, Jones LP Gas and Oil Company will fill your 20-pound LP gas grill cylinder for only $11. You heard that right. Each Friday till closing, you can have your 20-pound LP gas cylinder filled for only $11 at Jones Gas and Oil Company, 3881 Wilmington Highway in heart of Verona. In addition to saving money on your LP gas for the grill, Jones Gas and Oil is your full-service gas and oil company serving residential, commercial, and agricultural gas and oil needs, as well as gas appliances, LP replacement, parts, fill cylinders, and tankless water heaters, and they offer a 10% military discount on installation. Remember to get that cylinder filled every Friday until closing for only $11. Jones Gas and Oil Company, 3881 the Old Wilmington Highway, Verona. Phone 910-346-6384.
If you're looking for a home, or perhaps you want to sell your house, why would you not pick a realtor that knows Eastern North Carolina? Candy Brown Thompson has lived her entire life in this area and knows the territory like the back of her hand. She's a realtor with Century 21 Champion in Jacksonville and is known as a professional that will do everything possible to find the right home to meet your needs. It matters not whether you're looking for a small starter home or you're ready for a larger home. Candy will stick her neck out and check out homes throughout the eastern part of the state. She's known to look high and low and show you as many houses as you want until you have found the perfect house you can turn into a home. Throughout the process, she'll treat you with grace, kindness, and integrity, and you'll love her sense of humor. For a realtor dedicated to her clients, give Candy Brown Thompson of Century 21 Champion a call at 910-787-5600. That's 910-787-5600.
It's live and local. Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
Okay, we're back and on the line. Steve, how you doing, Steve-O?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning. What's going on?
Oh, kind of a somber morning. I got my friend's funeral today.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Have some time waiting for that.
I've thought about that, and some other individuals that we've talked to, they've expressed their condolences too.
Yes.
I've thought about that a lot, and every time I think about it, I get mad. I just get mad because it's preventable. It was preventable. It's just one of those things. We in this country have not done enough.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of noise out there, and the people who are really willing to work on problems aren't getting heard.
Yeah, well, I'm willing to work on it. Put me back in uniform. I'll go work on it.
I got you. Yeah, but yeah, that's the world we're living in, I guess, right now.
It is.
I agree.
What's hot on your mind besides that? And I know that's at the top of the list, especially because
yeah, I'm trying to think about other things as well. Though I tell you, I was listening to and I've heard so many people mispronouncing the vice president's name, and I'm one of them. I really struggle with it. I
do
think
too.
it's like a comma in a sentence. Kamala.
Kamala.
I think that's right. But the funny part that struck me is that after 4 years, me not being able to pronounce the vice president's name says a lot more about my intelligence than it does hers.
Because here's what I'm picking up.
Well, I'm just saying on me personally. I ain't saying, but me personally, I feel like that says a lot more about my intelligence than it does hers that I can't pronounce her name. I'm sure she could say Stephen Poole real easy.
I mean, I can do that, but, unless, you don't spell yours with a PH, do you?
Yep.
It could be Stefan then, couldn't it?
No, it can't. I ain't never run into one of those in my whole life.
Really? You haven't?
I have. Actually, I've ever seen that was called that. A lot of people pronounce it that way, but
that's
Martin Aragonis said it's Stefan.
Stefan? Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not the same.
Anyway, on Kamala or Kamala, I've called it Kamala since day one. But most recently, because she's in the news now, I'm hearing more of the national network people referring her as Kamala. No, Kamala.
With the emphasis on the
Kamala. I catch myself trying to say that, but then I'm not sure that I was wrong in the first place.
I might be wrong, but I've heard it said.
I'm gonna call her,
like in a sentence with law, comma law.
I'm gonna call her today and ask her.
And I hate to even tell you where I heard that, but I watched a little clip of the ladies from The View, and they were making a big deal about how people have not learned the lady's name after 4 years of being vice president. And so that's where I seen it, and I was like, well, that's a pretty good point, that I don't know how to pronounce her name. She's been vice president for 4 years.
Should I ever meet her?
Even if I don't like somebody, if they president or vice president, I should know how to pronounce their name. But, I found that humorous anyway.
Yeah, well, I agree, but
they got me on that one, I guess I'd have to say.
If I should ever meet her, I introduce myself, and then when she introduces herself, I will say, well, finally, I know how to pronounce it. Now, I'll try to remember it.
Let's call her.
Yeah, give her a call. BR549. That's the only number I know.
Ring a ding.
Like I say, at any rate, it gave me a chuckle. They got me on that one, I guess. They had a point that I didn't know that. So
I don't know. So I still don't know. Because today, when you watch the news on whatever networks you would, every one of them, I think most of the people I'm hearing on the networks, Kamala.
I honestly, they all mispronounce it too, and I mean, it's just ironic if you really stop and think about it that we don't have that, a firm grasp even on how to pronounce the lady's name. That's weird.
Yeah, well,
in itself. Yeah. But
let's see.
Anyway,
I wonder what happens if I Google it.
It's no, just trivial, kind of observation.
It might be to her.
A trivial observation on my part.
Okay, how to pronounce?
Funny, but
let's see.
Anyway, other than that, y'all have a blessed day.
Thank you. And
Steve, our best to you.
yeah, our heartfelt condolences, and we'll be thinking about you.
Yeah. And, if you want to chat sometime off mic, we're here.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, bud. All right. Later. Take a break. You're live and local. Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
If you are looking to purchase a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV without the high pressure, Onslow County Motor Company, 1639 Lejeune Boulevard.
Amazing dental experience. The offices of Lane & Associates welcome all ages and accepts all major insurances, including military. Lane & Associates Family Dentistry has been serving the state of North Carolina for over 40 years, with 2 locations in Jacksonville, Richlands, and Maysville. Call for an appointment today at 877-LANE-DDS or online, lanedds.com. Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry. Mills International Incorporated, your local Cub Cadet dealer, is ready for summer. And you should be too, with the Cub Cadet Ultima Series. Come today and see how these zero-turn mowers have stepped up control, with traditional lap to a familiar steering wheel experience. 4-wheel control provides precision, maneuverability, and stability on a variety of terrains, including hills up to 20 degrees. Adjustable automotive-inspired high back seat lets you comfortably cut at your maximum speed, while a heavy-duty mowing deck powers your yard for a premium cut. Combine steering wheel control with premium features of the Cub Cadet Ultima Series, and you get a zero-turn mower ready to unlock the possibilities of your lawn. Head to your local Cub Cadet dealer, Mills International Incorporated, at 801 South Queen Street, Kinston, for exceptional expert advice and a superior service.
Have you gotten your copy of Topsail Times newspaper this week? If not, did you know that Topsail Times is Topsail area's only local newspaper in print? Started a little over a year ago, we now have over 1,500 online subscribers and 5,000 printed copies that go out every 2 weeks. And we never charge our readers. Information should be free to our readers, and we stick by that. Looking for an idea for date night? Want to learn some local history? How about asking a veterinarian about your pet? These things and more are available in each copy of the Topsail Times newspaper. Want to get the word out about your business? We offer great rates for full color ads, and the online paper version is always included for free. Need help designing the perfect ad? We can do that too. We're always looking for human interest stories, so start writing. And we love local photos too. Check out our website at topsailtimes.net, where you can find out where to pick up a copy or check out our latest publication online.
Hello, shoppers. Take advantage of the following specials and many, many more at your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store in Main Street in Maysville. T-bone steak, just $11.99 a pound. Whole beef butt tenderloin, just $12.99 a pound. Whole boneless pork loin, just $1.79 a pound. How about thick boneless pork chops, just $2.79 a pound. Fried leg quarters sold in a 10-pound bag, just 69 cents a pound. And remember, the beef and pork is cut fresh every day by the butchers at your Maysville Piggly Wiggly, and they use only the finest and certified Angus beef and Sanderson Farm chicken. Over in produce, North Carolina grown blackberries or blueberries, you get 2 6-ounce packages for just $5. Sweet and juicy nectarines, just $1.99 a pound. Fine ripe tomatoes, $1.59 a pound. Fresh yellow or zucchini squash is only $1.99 a pound, and it's good for you. Jumbo green peppers, 99 cents each. Juicy whole seedless watermelons, just $5.99 each. And you get 3 12-packs of Coca Sprite for just $15. That's this week's specials. That's your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store where good things cost less. Down home, down the street, Main Street in Maysville. Remember, say big with the pig.
It's live and local. Real talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Okay, we got it. We got it now. We got it. We
Yeah.
sent this to our research department.
Yes.
And after due and diligent search of all of everyone and every person who's ever pronounced our vice president's name, they got it from her. They figured out, we'll go to her and ask her how she pronounces it.
Right.
According to reliable, maybe sometimes reliable, or at some point in time they did something right, sources, they say she says her name is pronounced Kamala, like the punctuation mark, comma, and then la, comma, Kamala.
Yes.
Jeez.
That came through.
I like Kamala.
Kamala.
It's not Carmela. Kamala.
Yeah. Kamala.
Kamala.
You got to add the M.
Got it, Steve?
Kamala.
Kamala.
Okay.
I could do a song
I'm
with
glad
that.
I don't have
Steve,
the
you could write a
M.
song. Kamala. I'm sure you could, Steve. That's the only word that I would be able to associate with it.
Kamala.
All right, let's see what else is.
I feel like we've really gone far today. We
we-
learned how to say her name, and
Maybe.
Kamala.
We'll have to see if that works.
I won't remember it tomorrow. I had to write it down. I
Let's see.
understand know about names.
Yeah.
I do.
The opening ceremonies of the Olympics in France are still catching a lot of grief from people
Yeah.
all over the world. The whole opening depicted Da Vinci's painting of the Last Supper, and Christians everywhere are up in arms. No issue for First Lady Joe Biden, who sang the praises for the opening ceremony at the Paris Olympics, despite widespread criticism that the performance mocked the Last Supper. Biden led the U.S. delegation to the Olympics and called the opening ceremony spectacular. Good. Despite the festivity, heavy rain drenched the athletes from all nations as they paraded down the River Seine on boats.
I didn't like that.
Biden remarked that the U.S. would have to work hard to top Paris opening ceremony when the games are held in Los Angeles in 2028. In Los
that'll be
Angeles.
easy. But Los Angeles, LA, I don't know about that, but I know we can top the
my.
ceremony. We can
Well,
top it.
We can. Seems that the soon-to-be former First Lady is as woke as the drag queens carrying the torch. We didn't get to the story of the attack on Israel over the weekend too much. Hezbollah rockets rained down on a soccer field, leaving a dozen people dead. The victims ranged in age from 10 to 20. Israel's reaction is forthcoming, and you can count on it being swift and horrific. The Israel Defense Forces executed a drone strike in Lebanon Monday, killing 2 Hezbollah terrorists. Benjamin Netanyahu is promising a retaliation strike that will be swift and severe. Hezbollah has really, they licked the red off his candy and he's ticked.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's going to be a mess. At least 2 children were killed. 9
That's
other
terrible.
people, most of them children, were injured. And a 17-year-old is in custody following a spree in the United Kingdom. The attack unfolded around noon local time in Southport yesterday, a town north of Liverpool. Armed police officers quickly corralled the lone male believed responsible for the attack. The assailant faces murder and attempted murder charges. The motive for the attack is not known, but police said they don't think it is a terrorist act.
Yeah, and they just broke news about 30 minutes ago that a 3rd child has died.
Third one?
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
I just.
What is going on in this world?
Oh, no, I was listening to that last night, and then I was watching the protest in Venezuela.
Oh, yeah.
That's like
well,
Kamala.
as we figured, he would squeak by and he won.
Oh, no, the
Lord,
protest.
and he said it was
were-
not rigged. It's not rigged. I won.
Protests got violent yesterday.
Yeah, well, you ever been to Venezuela?
Nope.
No.
Oh, you know, the State Department has got a travel ban now, and not a travel ban, but they're
Travel
warning.
alert.
Yeah, alert against going to Jamaica, Americans going to
Yeah,
Jamaica.
I saw that.
Just put that out because of the crime and the lack of medical attention there. So,
Crime in Jamaica has been there forever. I was going there every year that back in the 90s, and that was the 80s and 90s, and there was a lot of crime then. In fact, they I couldn't figure out why on one of the trips, because there's not a lot of television news. Back then,
right.
you didn't watch news. In fact, during the 6 o'clock news, they may take a break and play cartoons, old Mickey Mouse cartoons, black and white. I kid you not.
Wow.
But anyway, I heard reports. I saw reports and reading reports in the newspaper there, because I always pick up local papers, and about the people, the bad guys, as the police call them, the bad men. Literally, that's the way they referred to them. And there were a lot of police-involved shootings, and the bad men always ended up dead. And then on the way out, I was at the airport in Montego Bay, and I picked up the paper there, and just looking at the classifieds, they were looking for a hangman. Their hangman of 35 years at the time had retired, and death row was piling up. Now I know why. They didn't have any more room on death row.
Wow.
Now I know why the police were killing them on the spot. We'll see you tomorrow. We've got Dr. Rosemary Stein at about 7:30, and then Peter Wright's going to join us tomorrow, our Medicare specialist, and I'm still getting all sorts of Medicare stuff in the mail. I'm getting it in the mail now. I'm getting it at my telephone, and they just don't like me whatsoever.
Wow, I know. And then yesterday I got a call about, we're going to send somebody to your home and give you a checkup. I said, why? It was part of your insurance. I said, I have a regular provider.
Yeah, I don't want you in my house.
I don't want you in my, and thank you, but no. And that's twice I've had to tell them no.
I just tell
Why are you
I said,
coming to
no,
my house?
No. I
Check
don't
my
want you. Don't
refrigerator.
like you. I don't want you to look around and see what I've got while you go excuse yourself to go to the bathroom. Oh, can I use your potty? No.
Never keep your meds in the bathroom cabinet.
Go outside if you want to use the potty. The bushes are right
That's
over
really
there.
harsh.
You're live in Local Real Talk. Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. We'll be back tomorrow.